200 miles east of Caracas. Midnight. The USS Gerald R. Ford cleaves through storm-lit waves. Deck lights flicker against gusting wind. Radar hums, sensors ping. Operator eyes jump between AN/SPY 6 feed and EMALS console. A Venezuelan Su-30 appears as a blip, 30 miles out, shadowing the FA-18 patrol. Flight deck crew tighten grips, jackets flap. A catapult cycle clicks. EMALS feedback oscillates slightly. Tiny sparks, micro adjustments. Time slows, breath catches. Bridge calls echo. All systems green. Launch window 15 seconds. The human heart races. The machine calculates. Microsecond decisions dictate the next move. One wrong call. International incident. Waves slap hull. The Ford tilts slightly. Crew braces. A drone overhead tilts in response to wind shear, its camera catching the dark silhouettes of destroyers slicing the water alongside. The storm moans. Systems chatter. Humans and machines synchronize. Tension crackling through every sensor, every heartbeat, every steel beam. Caribbean night. Black water stretches endlessly. The Ford moves at flank speed, 30 knots. 2 Ticonderoga-class cruisers and 3 Arleigh Burke destroyers flank her starboard and port. Supply ships trail silently behind. Overhead, FA-18's patrol, wings glinting in moonlight. Radar arcs slice the sky. Puerto Rico and Curacao bases buzz with troop movements. Helicopters rise and fall like mechanical swans. The mission, officially, anti-narcotics and maritime security. Unofficially, pressure the Venezuelan regime. Test reactions, flex Southern Command muscle. Deck crews move with precision. EMALS cycles prepped. Arresting gear tension checked. Flight deck officers pace, calculating wind. Deck sway, launch windows. From above, satellites sweep the Caribbean Sea. Intelligence analysts track every radar blip, every Su-30 shadow, every Russian supply vessel creeping toward La Guaira. Machines hum, humans sweat. Data streams from the bridge, the CIC, and drone feeds. Every number, every microsecond feeds into one question. What happens if a single decision goes wrong? Storm clouds gather on the horizon. Rain begins to spit. Flight deck lights reflect off wet steel. The ocean roils, matching the tension that hums through hull and crew alike. Radar flashes. Unidentified contacts converge on the carrier's perimeter. 5 blips moving fast. Approaching from Venezuelan waters. FA-18 scramble. Deck crews brace. EMALS hums under load. A Su-30 appears on radar, tailing one of the FA-18s. Close proximity, 30 miles out. Weapon systems keyed, but rules of engagement are tight. Every misstep could escalate. On the bridge, the tactical officer glances at the SPY-6 display. Contact closing. Bearing 045. Range 12 nautical miles. ETA 5 minutes. Machines calculate trajectories. Humans calculate consequences. A sudden ping. A minor fault in the catapult system. One launch delayed. Flight deck tension spikes. Pilots mutter checks under breath. Every second counts. Helicopters hover over the fantail, stabilizing in gusting wind. The storm rolls in faster, rain lashing steel. Visibility drops. Satellite feed overlays. Russian supply vessel nearing La Guaira. Analysts chatter, comparing tracks with historical patterns. Surprise variables mount. Every sensor, every operator, every deck crew member now part of a living, breathing web of risk. Decisions must be instantaneous, precise, and correct. Deck officers' pulse races. EMALS cycle ready again. Hornet catapults into night sky. Su-30 disappears into cloud cover, shadowing silently. Tension dips, briefly, before surging again. The radar alarms scream across the bridge. A N/SPY-6 detects 4 contacts closing fast from the northeast. Distance, 42 nautical miles. Closing speed, 35 knots. Threat vectors converge in less than 6 minutes. Hands tremble on the catapult controls. EMALS cycles are slower than expected. Mid-operation glitch flagged 45 seconds ago. Crew murmurs, sweat beads on foreheads. Every second counts. Altimeter reads 1,200 feet. Speed, 280 knots. Radar sweep confirms Venezuelan Su-30 shadowing patrol route. Visual on Bandit, ETA, 212 micro adjustments on stick. Heart rate spikes. Orders ripple through deck speakers. Hold formation. Weapons free alert. Prepare intercept mind races through probabilities. EMALS delay could compromise response window. Alarms beep. Deck crews sprint. Jet engines spool. Radar ping. Su-30 banking sharply. Carrier deck flashes. AAG cables hum under stress. Aegis network calculates engagement solutions. 3 missile tracks, 2 surface contacts. Threat assessment. 0.73 probability of radar lock success. Decision nodes cascade. Jam, intercept, hold. Wind gusts reach 40 knots, washing across deck. Spray hits crew boots. EMALS temperature spike triggers a warning. Temp rising, cycle delay. Hornets ready, engines screaming. Catapult cycle adjusted. Launch sequence compressed by 12 seconds. Su-30 turns slightly. Its targeting computer lagging due to EW interference. Operator breathes through tension. Captain monitors international comms. Venezuelan frigate locked visually on our Ticonderoga. One misstep, one accidental missile launch, and political fallout could be catastrophic. Hornets launch in sequence. 3 jets roar off the deck, streaking into the storm-lit sky. Engines roar, radar pings. Su-30 reacts, banking to evade. Pilot mutters under breath, "Let's see what you've got." Sensors track split-second engagement. Missile radar false trails activated. Probability of target intercept drops to 0.57. Margin just enough to observe rather than engage. Layered systems coordinate silently. Captain notes timing, distance, threat probability. Maintain position. Observe, record. No shots fired unless absolutely necessary. Small exhale. Tactical patience under pressure. Storm begins to wane. Radar ghosts fade. Hornets regain patrol pattern. Deck crews slump briefly, adrenaline surging. EMALS cools. Catapult systems back online. Tactical peak resolved. Threat visually mitigated. Strategic objectives intact. Human instinct, machine precision, and environmental variables synchronized perfectly under seconds-long decision pressure. The deck hums in low vibration. Hornets taxi back, engines winding down. 1,200 feet altitude, 280 knots. Flight parameters normalized. Crew exhales as if collectively relieved. A sailor wipes saltwater spray from his eyes, scanning the horizon. Radar clears. Contacts no longer hostile. A N/SPY6 confirms distance. Su-30 shadow now 15 nautical miles away. Threat probability, 0.1. Email status nominal. All launch cycles green. Returning to pattern. Deck visual confirmed. All aircraft accounted. Thumb taps on HUD frame. A subtle release of tension. Every deviation, every microsecond decision logged. The strategic window closes. Venezuela and Russian advisors still monitoring from satellite feeds. Calculated restraint maintained geopolitical balance. Captain leans forward, noting that a single misstep could have escalated into international headlines. Data streams compiled. Flight deck operations, system status, radar sweeps, and close call timelines uploaded to Southcom. Seamless human-machine coordination prevented escalation. Crew packs up temporary hatches, checks arresting wires. Hands tremble slightly as adrenaline fades. Weather still rough, 35-knot gusts. Storm beginning to recede. Decks creak. Engines spool down. Radar pings fade. A young sailor exhales, muttering, "Made it. Barely." Captain reviews the engagement log. No weapons fired, 0 casualties, all aircraft recovered. Tactical objective achieved. Deterrence without a shot. Numbers logged. 3 Hornets launched, 4 threats tracked, 0 kinetic actions required. Notes the EMALS cooldown complete. One last hand on a catapult switch, a nod to engineering precision. Human instinct and machine engineering perfectly aligned. All contacts resolved. Radar displays quiet. Communication channel stabilized. Post-operation analysis underway. Probability assessment confirms mission success. 1.0. All objectives met without direct engagement. Crews pause. Stormlit deck gleaming. The ocean churns quietly, reflecting the first rays of dawn. Human and machine together. The carrier group stands ready. Deterrent accomplished, but the underlying tension persists. Hours later, the carrier holds steady off the Venezuelan coast. Communications chatter low. The incident enters classified debrief. A single non-event, one that nearly shifted hemispheric balance. Analysts cross-verify signals, flight paths, transponder codes. Every frame of infrared footage examined. No missiles fired, yet deterrence achieved. One analyst murmurs, "That's what 21st century brinkmanship looks like." The engagement becomes a ghost line in briefings. No press releases, no images. But in private reports, the incident is labeled an escalation narrowly contained. One radar misread. One pilot's restraint. One captain's silence. And a regional crisis avoided. EMALS data reviewed. System stress at 84%. Peak energy draw logged at 1.3 seconds. Mini-beat, engineer replays sensor data frame by frame. Confirmation that design held under pressure. Washington and Caracas both know what didn't happen and why it matters. A new rule is quietly reinforced. Whoever controls the escalation threshold controls the narrative. Data saved. Pilots debriefed. Satellites realigned. The sea returns to its rhythm. The captain watches the horizon. He knows that next time, the storm might not pass so quietly. The ocean glints silver under morning light. His last line in the log reads simply, "Peace held." For now, the carrier sails north, slow, deliberate. Her deck glinting under a bruised Caribbean dawn. Engines hum steady. No alarms, no radio calls. Just the deep mechanical rhythm of a warship remembering what almost was. A lone pilot walks the flight line, helmet in hand, eyes tracing contrails that have already vanished. He signs the final entry. Operation complete. No engagement. Yet he knows the report will say little about the wait that lingered between seconds, between hold and fire. Screens dim, maps update. The incident disappears beneath 1,000 new priorities. But deterrence, once tested, never fully resets. It lives in muscle memory. The quiet understanding that peace at sea is never free. Steel holds, engines cool, orders fade, and the horizon waits. Far below, the ocean swallows the echoes. For now, balance holds. But the next storm is already forming, somewhere beyond the radar's edge.